The 4RWF's March to WrestleMania continues, as today we look at the man they call Mr. WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels. Now, Shawn Michaels is arguably one of the greatest in-ring performers in wrestling history, and he's had some great matches over the years. It just happens to be a lot of them are WrestleMania matches, hence the name Mr. WrestleMania. So today, here at the 4RWF, we are going to take a look at Shawn Michaels' top 10 WrestleMania matches, minus that one where he was in a triple threat with Triple H, and it was for the title. But I just can't seem to find anything on the third guy that's in it, so let's get on with the showstopper. Number 10, WrestleMania 5, The Rockers versus Big Boss Man and Hakeem. Now I know what you're all saying, really? This is what's going to be number 10, a match that was Shawn and Marty Jannetty against two big guys, little guys versus big guys, woo, and they lost. Well, the reason it's number 10 is Shawn Michaels' first introduction to WrestleMania. As green as he was in the WWF, this showed that he had some major talent with some very interesting spots. I mean, that clothesline where he just literally was on his head, and then that senton that turned into a powerbomb, it showed the bright future Shawn Michaels had, whether it was in a tag team or it was in singles. Speaking of singles, number 9. WrestleMania 8, Shawn Michaels versus El Matador. Well, if number 10 is his first WrestleMania appearance, number 9 should be his first solo appearance. I mean, this match was really good for an up-and-comer singles wrestler. You take the newcomer, not really new, but still hasn't had much of singles bout, and stick him with a veteran, a Tino Santana. What better way to put someone over than have him beat a veteran at the grandest stage of this all? I mean, the gimmick started with Shawn Michaels' super kick to Marty Jannetty and throwing him through the glass window. I mean, sorry Marty, you will always be the Jannetty of this group. Oh, I get where that name comes from. And it was a very counter move with Shawn Michaels proving the cockiness and the heel persona, only picking up the victory by having his feet on the ropes. Shawn Michaels, our hero years later, but it showed that Shawn Michaels' progression as Mr. WrestleMania was going to come to fruition. Number 8, WrestleMania 14, Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yes, at this time Shawn Michaels was battling his demons to no extent. He was suffering major back injuries, which caused him to retire. Hindsight, we knew he came back later. And he did not want to job to Austin. So this match had all the potential of just sucking. But Mr. WrestleMania shows that he's somewhat of a professional. I mean, it might have taken Undertaker wrapping his tape behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, gotcha. But Shawn went into that ring, performed his hardest, put over Stone Cold, even if it was a little forced, and showed that he still had the ability at, what would you say, 50, 45%? He was hurt. And that's why this match was so good. A hurt Shawn Michaels was still better than most of the people in the locker room at full health, and he stole the show that WrestleMania. I mean, they don't call him the show stealer for nothing. Number 7, WrestleMania 21, Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. This match was a wrestling clinic. By all means, the definition of a wrestling clinic. You took the greatest in-ring performer, put him against possibly the greatest athlete the WWE, WWF, WCW, TNA, I don't care, whatever, has ever seen, the Olympic gold medalist, and you put him on the grandest stage of all. It was phenomenal. If you ever want to show your kids, your grandkids, a future wrestler fan, what a wrestling clinic means, because we throw that word a lot out in wrestling, this match was it. From high spots to counters to finishing move, the finishing move or signature move, it had everything. And again, Shawn Michaels one more time seems to like to steal the show, especially at WrestleMania, and you gotta give Kurt Angle credit on this one too. Because if it wasn't for Kurt, this match would have just been Shawn Michaels wrestling a broom and still would have been good, but Kurt added the dynamic to make this match amazing. So thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Shawn. WrestleMania 21. Go look at it. Check it out. Great match. Number 6. WrestleMania 26. Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker in a retirement match. Hey guys, go down there. Because I know a lot of you are mad right now. Comments. This should be higher on the list. I don't think so. The only reason this is on the list is because it was Shawn Michaels' last match. It was a good match. But whereas another match on this list that I'll get to had something that this match didn't do. At no moment did I believe Shawn Michaels was ever going to win this match. We all knew it was Shawn Michaels' last ride. Get it? Undertaker, bad joke. His last ride. And Undertaker's streak wasn't going to end. So the match was good, as in Shawn Michaels really did wrestle with broom in this ring. Undertaker was old, is all creaks and cracks, but Shawn Michaels made him look like Undertaker of old, and that's the credit to Shawn Michaels' abilities. He's amazing at making other people look good. Go check out the John Cena-Shawn Michaels match. That is not on this list because I hate John Cena. Okay, hate's a strong word. He can't wrestle. Anyways. So, this last match, knowing Shawn Michaels' last match, Undertaker taking the honor of being Shawn Michaels' last match, really added a nice chemistry that made this match great. And that's why it's number 6 and not much higher. Number 5. WrestleMania 10. Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon in a ladder match. Every generation can choose the match that made them a wrestling fan. I mean, let's be honest, me was Hulk Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant fan from there on. But this match molded not only Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels to be the greats that they would later on become, but would draw in fans to a new generation. The transition from the Hulkamania era to the younger, faster, talented was greatly helped by this match, with insane spots now looked upon as, okay, I've seen crazier, but back then being things done with a ladder that no one has ever seen before. That jump off the top of the ladder, that splash off the top of the ladder to be more exact, is etched in WrestleMania history, and will ever be one of the greatest moments in WrestleMania history, transcending generations and bringing new fans into the business. And Razor helped, but Shawn Michaels wrestled a ladder pretty much, and that's why it's number 5 on our list. Number 4. WrestleMania 19, Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho. Go ahead, write the hates in the comment right now that this one's so high up on the list. I'm sorry. This is the most underrated Shawn Michaels, if not the most underrated WrestleMania match out there. This match had everything. from the build-up to the talking abilities of both Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho, to the in-ring abilities of Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho, to Chris Jericho being compared as the next Shawn Michaels his entire career. This match was decades in the making. Finally getting to see the return of Shawn Michaels into a WrestleMania ring. And who better than Chris Jericho, the so-called next HBK. This match did not need insane high spots to steal the show. This match was a technically sound match from beginning to end. It told a story. The animosity between these two, or mainly just Chris Jericho, over his entire career being compared to Shawn Michaels, showed that not only is Jericho Jericho, but he possibly could be better than Shawn Michaels. At the end, you didn't need some crazy spot to end the match. A roll-up victory, a technically sound move to end a technically sound match. And then the double cross at the end also kind of helped the match. Hate this match as much as you would, give it credit where credit's due. One of the most underrated matches in WrestleMania history, and it deserves its spot on this list. Now, before I get into 3, 2, 1, let me be very clear. 3, 2, 1 on this list, you can put in any order you want. This is just our order here at the RWF, so don't get mad at us if it's not the order you want. By all means, this is just our opinions. You have the opinion to put number 3 at 1, 2 at 2, 1 at 3, 1 at 2, however you want. There is no wrong answer, but for us here at the RWF, number 3, WrestleMania 25, Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker. WrestleMania 25 needed to live up to its anniversary. And what better way than putting the streak up against Mr. WrestleMania. Why this one is so high on the list and the retirement match with Shawn Michaels wasn't, is going into the match, you didn't think Shawn Michaels was winning. It was going to be a very good match. Shawn Michaels was going to give some great spots and was going to really sell the match and make Undertaker look good. But there were points in this match where fans were like, the streak might end. Mr. WrestleMania might pull this out. And that's what you need with wrestling. You need that unpredictability. In the end, Shawn Michaels lost, but there were countless moments, even the Undertaker's face going, what do I have to do to put this guy down? But my point is, it gave you excitement because something was going to happen. Shawn Michaels was going to put the streak out. He didn't. Taker ends up winning. But that excitement transcended the match. It gave you hope. It gave you excitement once again to be a wrestling fan. Yeah, a lot of you might say this should be number 1, but here at the 4RWF, it's a great match and it was very unpredictable, but we're giving it the 3 spot for right now. Number 2, WrestleMania 24, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair in a retirement match. What's this say about Shawn Michaels' career? 3 of the top 10 on this list are his last 3 matches in wrestling, where most wrestlers, as they get older, they get slower, out of shape, not as much good in the ring. I'm looking at you, Ric Flair. Shawn Michaels took his friend's career. Shawn Michaels didn't want to take his friend's career. Him and Ric Flair may not always seen eye to eye, but in the later years of their career, they became really good friends, I mean, with the help of Hunter. But this match hit fans on an emotional level. Ric Flair, losing one more time, retires. Just got inducted to the Hall of Fame. Mr. WrestleMania, not liking to lose at WrestleMania, even though most of these matches on this list he's lost. but also not wanting to put out his friend to pasture, knowing that there's still a fire in his heart. And who could ever forget the famous, "I'm sorry, I love you"? As much as the story build-up as this match had, as much as Shawn Michaels made the old retiring Ric Flair look good, it was still the raw emotion that these two had in that match that puts this so high up on the list. I mean, it's not number one, but 2 isn't that bad when you're almost at the end of your career for both wrestlers. And the number 1 Shawn Michaels WrestleMania match, WrestleMania 12, Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart in an Iron Man match. The previous year, Shawn Michaels loses to Diesel after winning the Royal Rumble. This year, he wins the Royal Rumble and has the right to face Bret Hart, the champion. Here's where things get interesting. Now, you could have just had a plain match where these two just showed their technical prowess, their in-ring ability, Shawn Michaels high flying, Bret Hart just making Shawn tap. But no. Let's make it an Iron Man match. Let's make it whoever gets the most pinfalls, submissions, countouts, disqualifications, I don't care, in an hour wins. You're going to make these two superstars wrestle non-stop for an hour. It worked! It worked! From bell to bell for 1 hour, it was great. So great, no one got a victory. No one won. Bret Hart left the ring. A tie goes to the champion. That's what we've been always taught. But it's WrestleMania. That's not how WrestleMania should end. So not only did we get a 60-minute match, we got sudden death overtime. Shawn Michaels hitting that sweet chin music, and as they say, still to this day, fulfilling the boyhood dream of becoming WWF champion. This match, on an emotional level, on a technical level, on a story build-up, because you even had the whole story with Owen Hart knocking out Shawn Michaels with the concussion kick. This match really did have everything. Not just the match itself, but even the behind the scenes, knowing that these two weren't getting that along at that point. They were still friends, but the animosity was starting to show. This match really, really did have everything, and that's why it's number 1 on greatest Shawn Michaels matches at WrestleMania of all time. And that's it for Shawn Michaels. Join us next week as we continue the march to WrestleMania here at the 4RWF, as we got something a little special for you Hall of Fame fans. Until next time, I'm Latino Loco for the 4RWF.